Okay, today we talk about the flood of Arab refugees, migrants, whatever you want to call them, cruising, moving their way north to Europe. It's really partially our fault and partially our fault and a whole lot of Europe's fault. You sit there and you wonder what's going on. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people going through. Europe always looked at us and wondered what our issues were with illegal immigration when immigration would come flying over our borders years ago, and would always be the first to always criticize us on the way we handled our borders. Really interesting how now some of them want to take immigrants and or refugees or whatever, and others don't. But we have to look at really what the root cause is, because you got to fix the cause. Making the sniffles go away doesn't make the cold go away. President Bush and Vice President Cheney were wrong to go into Iraq. Our intelligence agencies let us down, gave them the wrong information. The president was too quick on the trigger, and they blew it when they took over, when they toppled Saddam Hussein, and didn't keep the government intact, and they really blew it. But they turned it around. By turning around, at least they stabilized things. President Obama comes in, and I think, and we really blew it there. His whole focus has been disengagement, not engage. Maybe give people ideas, say, hey, this may be nice, this may be nice, I'll get my Nobel Prize, but did not want to kind of be perceived as the bully on the block. So what do? We totally pull all of our troops out of Iraq. What a mistake. Iraq collapses. It just falls apart into different countries. It's really not one country anymore. Got the Iranians, got the Kurds, got Turkey next to it. You got what's left of Iraq, and it's all been split up. It's because we let it happen. And then the Syrians, during the Arab Spring, when the Syrians were out protesting, we had our chance to really get involved. We didn't have to get involved with troops. We didn't have to get involved to shoot or kill people. We could have backed those protesters, and we didn't. So what do we have now? Now we have people saying, well, what's the option? Only going in for war? Why would we even go in? What do we have now? Because we did nothing. We did nothing. We now have warring tribes in Syria. It isn't Syria anymore. So the only good thing that's really coming out of it is that the Russians are coming in to try to prop up Bashar Assad, and it's only really a small part of of Syria that they have, and Russian troops will die, and they'll start seeing what their problems are and why they should not be sending their troops in, and then they'll start having their problems at home, hopefully when they see that they have these real issues, because they don't belong there. Or Putin will do the exact opposite. Putin will get his back up against the wall, blame us, and start moaning and groaning, move further into Ukraine, or try to go into some of our Eastern European allies. All parts of why I believe, and if you look back, the best part, to me the fun part, is if you look back at some of our old videos, you'll hear that we talked about this being the black swan well before the 2012 election, how this could eventually become the black swan in the Middle East, and it really has, and it's nowhere near finished. It's just nowhere near finished. So now we can see a situation where the Russians will get their backs against the wall as they lose troops, and this is all part of the reason why our defense industry is going to get bigger and bigger, and almost has to, because we have to be prepared for this. By laying back, by not leading, we have allowed the world to kind of fall apart, at least as to our interests, and now people don't care about our interests, and our friends are not dealing with us and don't trust us, and our enemies are running all over us, not caring. And I mean, listen to Khamenei. I mean, you could almost laugh listening to this dude. So you're now going to see, this is all part of what went with our earlier tape, the Iranian nuclear deal. It's going to be another reason why we're going to be moving forward and expanding our defense, because the Iranian nuclear deal, the issue is really not the nuclear. The nuclear is everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. The issue is going to be what they're going to put on the ground, how they're going to put them on the ground, and how we're going to have to deal with it, and how it's going to roll over to us. And now if these refugees start rolling in, how are we going to be able to protect our borders? Those are some issues we're going to talk about as we go further, but it's only going to get worse and worse. But the only maybe good thing is our defense industry will get bigger, employment will do better, there'll be a lot of roll-off from there into other industries, and maybe it'll help get our economy going. But who wants to use defense to get our economy going? That's because we really have no leadership in foreign policy in Washington. It's just really sad. So we're there. We'll be talking more as we go forward. We're trying to give a narrative of where this is going, but it'll always work out. It could just get a whole lot worse first. Peace.